Greetings, lovers of lore. Thank you for joining me for the fourth installment of the Bloomburrow story. When we ended off the third part, our heroes were in serious trouble. This part of the story starts out with our heroes surrounded by angry rat folk who want them out of the rat's cave. They try to explain to the rat folk that they were forced into the cave by the Floodgar's brutal attack, but the rat folk aren't having it. Hugs is already recovered enough to battle, and he readies himself, as does Gev and Phineas, but the confrontation is interrupted by an old rat folk, and just in time as Ral was preparing to blast some lightning. The wizened old rat walks with a snail-handled cane and wears a shell-lined cloak. He had one black eye and one red. He told the other rat folk that these visitors were special, deposited here by the river, and were to be shown hospitality. This elder's name was Coffee, and the rat folk obeyed his wheezing words, sheathing their weapons. The heroes were guided through a maze of tunnels created by giant insects ages ago. This place served as the rat folk village. It got cooler the further they descended. Coffee explained that the rats here were lore keepers, preserving Bloomburrow's history. They arrived in a room lit by a hanging basket full of glowing pearls. The floor was covered in rugs and pillows. Coffee rested his hurting bones in a chair and offered the heroes some chamomile tea. They all relaxed on pillows and ate seed cake along with the offered tea. Coffee apologized for the rough welcome. He explained that they had had some unwelcome visitors a few days ago that left them all jumpy. Coffee used magic, waving his staff in the air, and conjured a vision. It was a weasel in a red hood, with a claw-marked scar on his face. Coffee explained this was Cruel Claw, who was robbing whatever and whoever he pleased, the night owl carving a path of destruction after him. Helga blurted, "We seek him too." Mabel explained about the necromancer encounter they had had at Pondside. Coffee spoke confidently. Cruel Claw has to be stopped before more calamity beasts get involved. Helga's education had taught her that no one had power over the calamity beasts, not even the greatest spellweavers, and she said as much. Coffee explained, "I believe he stole something that granted him that power. He has a calamity beast's egg." Mabel declared that they must find out who was in charge of Cruel Claw and return the egg to its rightful place. But Phineas objected. "I'm just a farmer." "Speak for yourself," said Gev. "The striped rapscallions fear no calamity beasts, let alone a weasel." Ral chuckled, Mabel shot him a look, and he subsided. Zoraline, the bat folk, spoke up. "The world has become unbalanced. The stars will remain in chaos unless we fix this." Then it was Ral's turn to speak. "Helga is my connection to Jace. I'll keep you all alive and deal with whatever beasts we encounter." Mabel looked at her party. "We must recover the egg. Too many people will be hurt if we don't." Again, Phineas protested. "How do we even find Cruel Claw?" Mabel put forth the idea that Helga's divination skills might work. Helga felt two emotions at once, fear of failure and the relief that came with others believing in her. She resolved to try. "I'll need a big bowl of water." She was provided with a bowl made of shell filled with fresh water. Helga pulled out her vision journal, and as she flipped through it, Ral mentioned he felt the strange hawk she drew looked familiar to him, but he couldn't remember from where. Helga sat down by the bowl of water, pencil in hand, journal open to receive the vision. But nothing came to her. There were just too many distractions. The unfamiliar surroundings, the movements of the strange rat folk around her, her own lack of belief in herself. She tried so hard, It made her head ache. Zoraline placed a reassuring hand on Helga's shoulder. Don't force your inner light to glow. Just uncover it. Helga took a deep breath and relaxed. The visions tended to come unbidden, so she started doodling random spirals. Her mind drifted, and when she regained focus on the presents, she held a drawing of Fountainport with its three-tiered magnificent fountain in the center of a lily pad-filled pond. The fact that they were now destined for Fountainport made Helga uneasy. She was not looking forward to seeing King Glarb after her tremendous failure under his tutelage. The Ratfolk's hospitality had been a comfortable interlude, but the party of heroes wasted no time preparing to leave. Coffee explained some of his people had left to track Cruel Claw and would offer aid if they ran into each other. They were led out a different way than they had come in and ended up at the edge of the marshlands. The Ratfolk offered directions to Fountainport, but Hugs spoke up. He knew a shortcut. Gev sighed. The dandelion field? It takes forever to pick those seeds out of your fur. The heroes were told that shortcut might actually be dangerous. An unknown beast had arrived in that region during a storm recently, and it appeared to be dangerous, but it wasn't a calamity beast. It was something else. Ral absently said it may have come from another plane, but nobody else knew what he meant. They all resolved to take the shortcut anyways. At first, the dandelion patch was quiet and peaceful. The heroes filled the silence with talk of home. Mabel and Ral both missed their mates. A giant shadow interrupted the talk. Ral could feel whatever it was summoning a storm. Dark clouds swirled unnaturally. The wind whipped up, and then a massive bird-like creature became visible in the storm. 4 wings with webbed ends and horrendously large talons. Ral spoke up. That's a dragon, but altered by the magic of your world. As dangerous as any true calamity beast, we must avoid detection. The heroes covered anything reflective they had on them and moved very slowly. But dandelions kept smacking into Hug's huge form. This led to Zoraline, who was sleeping on his back, abruptly waking up sneezing. What's going on? Why is everyone so quiet? She asked. Gev leapt quickly and covered her mouth with both hands, but it was too late. The bird dragon screamed. Lightning flowed in its mouth, and it dove as the cloud cover intensified. The heroes scattered, barely missing being torn apart by those massive claws. Ral acted quickly. I need something metal to conduct electricity. Phineas brandished an arrow with copper wound all about it. Ral nodded. That will do. Everyone runs on my signal. Phineas knocked his arrow and loosed. It struck true in the bird dragon's mouth. Zoraline used her magic to baffle and dizzy the dragon as it swooped low again. Ral reached into the storm with his arcane power, feeling it roll along his fur. He yelled to the others to run, and they did. Suddenly, the sky was intensely bright as Ral's magic slammed lightning into the bird dragon's head. The dragon roared as Ral laughed triumphantly. The bird dragon did not fall from the sky, however, but it did fly upwards into the cloud cover. The clouds wept rain down upon the heroes. Wielding her grandfather's wand, Helga shaped some of the rainwater into a protective bubble that kept the storm off of everyone. Ral came walking up untouched by the rain, his magic keeping it at bay. He gestured, and the rain lessened and then ceased. When the clouds dissipated, there was no sign of the bird dragon. Gev sighed heavily. Time to get all these blasted seeds out of Hug's fur. Mabel laughed heartily, and Hug snorted. Zoraline settled back to sleep on Hug's back. For the moment, they were safe. But what dangers awaited in Fountainport, they did not know. And that ends the fourth installment of the Bloomburrow story. I hope you guys have been enjoying it as much as I have. If you like what I'm doing here on this channel, you can support it by either joining the channel's Patreon or the channel membership. A big thank you to the channel's members and patrons for supporting this channel. I will see you all, my friends, for the next installment of the story. In the meantime, go enjoy some other lore on this channel, because at the end of the day, lore is life.